You go talk to anybody else in the country, they don't understand.
This is Wisconsin sturgeon spearing. A frozen lake, a hole in the ice,
3 inches.
a shanty, and an 8-foot spear.
Sturgeon spearing is a family tradition.
A sturgeon is a fish that can weigh more than 200 pounds. The species has been around since the time dinosaurs went extinct.
I mean, I've talked to people that do it for 30 years that never even seen a fish.
There's a limit on the number of sturgeon that can be harvested each year, 1,200. That means for the more than 12,000 spearers with permits,
7 o'clock, time to spear.
the season lasts only a few days.
But it takes that one fish to get you hooked for the rest of your life.
Every sturgeon that's speared is registered for sex and size by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
50 pounds, 66 inches. So as tall as I am, I'm 5'5", and that's how long the sturgeon is.
But climate change puts this winter tradition in jeopardy. Scientists in a new report say Wisconsin winters are getting warmer and the lakes aren't freezing over for as long as they used to. And nobody knows what that means for the sturgeon population.
Definitely water clarity and climate change and ice cover are all kind of closely related there.
Fishery scientist Dr. Titus Selheimer says less ice means the water is less clear. That means fewer sturgeon harvested.
That's a really fairly simple relationship.
But there's other considerations too. Ice cover changes water temperatures. That may impact the timing of sturgeon spawning, which happens in the warmer weather. Less snow and more rain in the winter could impact nutrient runoff that happens in the spring. That affects the ecosystem.
If you take away ice cover, that really changes kind of the dynamics of the system.
And though the fishery is well regulated by scientists, any broad changes that cause the sturgeon population to decline ultimately means
less fish for people to have the opportunity to harvest.
But climate change for spearers of 2022?
Nobody thinks about that.
It'll freeze over. And I have yet to have a spearing season to where I haven't drove a truck on this lake.
I don't believe that. I don't make anything of that because there's 20 inches of ice out there 5 miles out right now.
State Senator Dan Fayen represents the district south of the lake. He says to live in the moment.
Do what you can for today, and you hope it's there for tomorrow, and you do what you can to make sure it's there for tomorrow.
But as of today, Senator Fayen doing nothing. Addressing climate change is a partisan issue. 78% of Democrats say it should be a top priority for lawmakers, but only 21% of Republicans say the same. But having the lake freeze over here isn't just good for fishing.
Can I get you a beer, sir?
It's good for business.
This is a boom.
Scott Engel is the owner of Jerry's Bar, a well-known tavern for spearers.
These are the things that help pay the extra bills you have once in a while, or things you really would like to have done, like a new roof.
When it comes to climate change, skepticism,
I have a tough time believing that.
but an acknowledgement of impact.
I would have a big problem.
And ice trends for Oshkosh's tourism director?
I don't think about that.
The ice in the winter allows the city to market the lake as a product available to tourists year-round.
If for some reason there wouldn't be ice, we would have to come up with, what would be that reason that people would come here.
One thing scientists are looking at to keep the ecosystem healthy? Implementing what's called a total maximum daily load. That's the limit on the amount of pollutant a body of water can receive to still meet water quality standards.
That is something we can do now.
Scientists say the ice trends, however, are irreversible.
You don't know what you've got till it's gone. Sometimes it's hard to explain tourism, but when you don't have it, it's very easy to see the impact of that.
I'm sure we'll figure it out if there is no ice.
No ice for some is unimaginable.
It's just something that we've always done that we'll always do.
For today's generation of spearers, climate change is a little fish in a big pond. South of Lake Winnebago, Andrew Rowan, Medill, 352.